Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Empowered Queen Show. This is your host, Marsha Mayfield. And as always, I am super excited about the guests that we go out and we search to find to bring to you guys to make sure that you are getting a level of value that will change your life. So today, like none other, but today is even more special, guys. We have here my coach that's here to serve and to support you, Heather Picken. Heather is known as the high-end client attraction. I call her the genius. I call her the high-end client attraction genius. She's like a magnet, guys, and she teaches you how to magnetize to get those clients that you just absolutely love. And so I guess I should stop here because I get so excited because working with Heather has just entirely, thank you, Heather, changed my life. And not necessarily by recruiting clients, Heather, but knowing who I am and creating that attraction to attract those clients that I really desire to serve. So I can't wait today till you share with our listeners and our viewers how to do that. Like, how is that possible? And tell us a little bit about yourself before you get into the juicy.
Oh, absolutely, Marcia. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me on this show. And, you know, what I love helping people do, especially women, because I work primarily with women, is to live what I call La Dolce Vita. And that is the formula for fabulous living. And La Dolce Vita actually means living the sweet life. We all want to experience a life that feels fulfilling, that feels on fire. And, you know, your formula for La Dolce Vita might be different from someone else, but it's understanding like how to find that formula, how to put yourself out there in a way where you're, you know, really attracting those high-end clients. And so I like to look at it as, you know, build your life and then build your business around it.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love that. Love it. Now, how do you go about helping clients to do that?
Yeah, you know, I don't take a cookie cutter approach. And the reason why I don't do that is everyone has unlimited potential. I call it a wealth potential inside of them. And some people don't even know it, and it's lying dormant within them. And what I do is I really help them to activate that genius potential, the wisdom, so that they can attract, you know, those high-end clients. And so part of my process is really understanding and identifying like who you really are. And I love this quote. It's a great quote that is, know thyself, be thyself, love thyself. And what that means is that, you know, when you really know who you are as a leader in your business and you put your marketing material out there and really being unapologetically, you know, of who you really are, that's when you start attracting those high-end clients. Because, you know, if you look at the marketing today, a lot of it is the same, you know, kind of samey. That I'm using that word. I don't know if that's a word. You know, it's kind of samey. Okay, I've seen that before. And so what I like to do is just really draw from that person's experience of what makes you unique, what makes you you, and show people how to really package and market that in a big way, so to where you have a global vision, because you have to have a big vision in order to attract those high-end clients and, you know, create other things that are really serving the world and making an impact.
And I want to pause there because I want to make reference to when I first began working with you. I came to you, I was completely frustrated. Like, I just wanted to pull my hair out. I didn't want to help anyone else. I wanted to go into a shell and say, I give up. And I'm sure it's some of the listeners and the viewers here can relate. So I really want you guys to really take note here about what I'm about to say and what Heather had did for me to assist me in that process. But as I was saying, I was completely frustrated. And it was because one of the things is I knew I was good, but I didn't know how good I was until Heather helped me to see, you know, the values that are within us. And then it's amazing the different strategies that she teach. It honestly magnetized, you know, and I'm thinking, how did you teach me this? The teaching was so great. I don't even know what we did to do it, but it worked.
I love that. I love that. You know, it really is. I really want people to get this. It's not all about the marketing strategy. Marketing strategy is important. But one of the most important things that I have found in working with so many people all over the world is what's in between your ears, you know, your mindset and what you're putting out there. I actually just created a new training actually a couple days ago, and I did it because of the session. I want to share the story because this is really important. I think this is going to help a lot of people. A lot of times when people come to me, they're fed up and frustrated, just like you. They have an amazing gift that they want to share to the world, but they start doubting themselves. They start comparing themselves to other people, which that is terrible, and then devaluing themselves. And so when they get into that place, it's really hard to get the momentum. And then you find yourself chasing the shiny objects and thinking that it will work out. And I'm here to tell you that it's just, you can't do that. And so I had a conversation with this client. It was the very first session. And she came to me and she said, you know what, Heather, I have been doing this for years. I'm 42 years old, and I've yet to really, you know, soar in my business. I've never been successful. And, you know, my heart went out to her. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So she was in the health and fitness field. And so, you know, I saw that was like a huge block. Like she was really in the place of comparing herself, because it was like a week before we had the conversation, she had a conversation with her father. Her father had a high value on investing. He was a financial planner, and, you know, his perspective on wealth was success is if you don't have money in the bank, then you're not successful. If you don't have these kinds of things or money in the cash form, that you're not successful. And so she started comparing herself, beating herself up, you know, with her father and the other in her family. Now, I know a lot of people can identify with this, and this is exactly why you're stuck. And so, you know, we looked at that, and I said, wait a minute, let's stop here. I said, you're actually very successful. You actually have the money right now. You've got the wealth right now. It's just in a fractured form. And so what I mean by that is that there's 7 areas of someone's life. And when we look at 7 areas, we can look to see where exactly is that wealth. We can assign a number, we can assign a value to it. So her being in the health and fitness business, I said, well, is your father healthy? And she said, no. And I said, okay, let's assign a value to that. How much would that be if, you know, he were to hire you? And so we kind of went through all the steps. Really, we're digging deep. Now, here's how I know a person shifts. By the end of the call, you know, it was like a light bulb that went off. She was so inspired. She was so on fire with her mission and purpose. And she said, you know what, Heather, this is the best session I've ever had. I know I can do this. And so 2 weeks later, she went from struggling to get clients to being booked solid, you know, attracting her perfectly high paying clients. And that to me is the magic. We didn't even touch the marketing strategy. And so that's what I really want people to get, is that you've got the wealth right now. It's just in a fractured form. So for example, let's just say if you're not in a relationship and you're seeking a relationship, that void that you sense, you know, through your senses becomes a value. And so we live through our highest values. Everyone operates on a set of what's most important to them. And so when you understand what your highest values are, then it's easy to find what your wealth potential is. And so with the relationship aspect, let's just say if you say, you know, I really want to be in a relationship because I feel there's a void, but I'm here to tell you, you already have that relationship. It's just in a different form. And then once you find it, then what happens is you can manifest that form, that actual relationship. So if I were talking to a person, they said, Heather, I don't have a relationship. And I said, you know what, you really do have it. It's in different forms. And let's just say, I asked them, okay, well, what is it that you want out of a relationship? Well, I really want someone to cuddle with at night. And, you know, maybe I asked this person, well, do you have a dog? Yeah, I have a dog. So you're cuddling with them at night? Absolutely. So they have that part of what they want, the essence of what they want. It's just in a fractured form. So once we go through that all, it's the same thing with money. Once you get that aha moment, then you can, you know, you can transfer that into the cash form. So when I take people through this and they do it correctly, the light bulbs go off and they start switching into getting those high-end clients, allowing themselves to really embrace their authenticity and their greatness.
Awesome. Oh my God, that's awesome. So Heather, with that being said, for people to understand that once they embrace their inner wealth, that they can basically do whatever, they can own the world.
Yeah, matter of fact, Bill Gates, probably one of the richest men in the world. I don't know what he thought, probably in the top 10 or top 15. But you could actually take Bill Gates' wealth and you could find how many billions he's worth in your life. It would take a long time, don't get me wrong, but you could find it. There's a process that I actually use with some of my really high-end clients, and it's really about owning, the traits of all the greatest people that you want to emulate, and seeing yourself as equal. And when you start seeing yourself, your thoughts are so powerful. I really want everyone to get this. Your thoughts are so freaking powerful that you could, once you're aligned, you could literally attract something in 2 seconds. I've done it all the time. I've shown my clients how to do it. And I just want to share a little story. I think this is really interesting. So my father was visiting with me in town, very successful man. And we started talking about the power of visualization and how powerful that is. And he was sharing a story with me, and he said, when I was really, when I wanted, because, when he first started out, he was very poor. And he said, you know what, Heather, I visualized the account. I saw myself doing it. And I said, well, were you worrying about money? He said, no. He said, I was so focused on being positive and seeing it that I just would attract it. It was a really powerful conversation that we had. And, he said, Heather, once I got my first million, it was so easy to get, my second million. And so I'm here to tell everyone, no matter where you're at, no matter what has happened to you, I believe the universe, God, creator, whatever you're naming that power, is always pushing you on your path of greatness. And the important message is, are you listening? Are you willing to change direction? Are you willing to get out of your own way so that you can really align yourself with your highest values? That's why we experience the people in our life that challenge us, whether it's in a form of a client that we attract, or a situation, or a family member. Those things are necessary in order to grow. And one of my mentors said something that is so powerful, and I love repeating it, is, although we seek support, in our value system, we attract those people into our life that challenge us to make us grow. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, Heather, I've got this person challenging me. My husband doesn't believe in me. And I get it. I totally get it, girlfriend. But in order to really change that, you've got to understand that there's wisdom in that. There is a benefit for these people that you are attracting in your life. Because I kind of laugh, Marcia, because I say, the best lessons in my life and business have come from men. I have learned so many lessons from these crazy relationships. I'm in a really good relationship now that have taught me to own my power, to own my greatness, and to never back down. And it's so important as women. We have so much potential and so much power, yet a lot of times we diminish ourselves. We delay our dream because we're living someone else's dream, and we're subordinating to authority figures. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want, and you need a support system. That's so important.
So important. I do. I think that's amazing. A support system is the foundation to your building, to whatever you're building, whether it's wealth, finances, or business. It's needed. And I want to ask you, Heather, now you are the high-end client attraction genius. Has that always been your story?
No, matter of fact, and I'm glad that you brought that up. My story was really interesting, and I'd like to share, take a few minutes, because I want to share my journey, especially with women, where if you're at that place of giving up, I'm here to tell you, you have so much inside of you. In my story, I grew up, I had a learning disorder. So I had dyslexia, which really challenged me at the time. There was not a diagnosis for that. I didn't realize what I had until later. So I was taken out of my for a classroom for my peers into another classroom that had all windows. They could see me and they knew I was getting special tutoring. I felt so stupid. And so that was the moment where I felt different. I always had to struggle. I had a hard time in math. And I kind of make a joke because I'm like, yeah, I have no problem, allowing money to flow in my bank account. I might not be able to tell you what, the square root of 67 is, but I can tell you, how to get money in your bank account. But, I had all these learning challenges. At the time, I always thought, why am I so stupid? Why does it always take me so long to do things? And I was comparing myself. So remember back, earlier I was saying, don't compare yourself. So I compare myself to my sister because she was a straight A student. And I remember my father said, don't compare yourself to anyone. He's like, I got C's, I just worked my butt off. And so later in life, that was the biggest blessing, because when other people give up on their journey, I just had this ability to keep going no matter what. And so kind of fast forward into my life, I had mentioned that all my lessons, my best lessons have come from men, really teaching me how to own my power. And so the breaking through point in my life was when I was living with a boyfriend at the time. We had a huge fight. He kicked me out in the middle of the night. At the time, I had no car. I was living off my credit cards. I had maybe a couple $100s in my bank account. So in this moment where it was 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm sitting there with my Chihuahua at the time, not Frankie Lee. Frankie Lee is my current Chihuahua. Her name is Angel. And I am having a freak out moment. I am freaking out going, how did I get here? I'm college educated. I'm smart. Why do I keep attracting these same relationships? And so I set intention in that moment. I'm like, you know what? No more. I'm going to find someone that helps me. The very next day, I put an ad on Craigslist to move in with a complete stranger. I mean, it was just so crazy because I really didn't have the money. Moved in. And so I really focused on just a few things. And that was working on my business, working on my mindset, and making money. And I found a mentor a week later that totally changed my world, helped me to align my mind to my vision when I was just about to throw in the towel. And that's why it's so important to get coaching. You've got to invest in your inspiration. You cannot give up on yourself. You cannot give up on your dream. We're here to do extraordinary things. And I told myself in that moment, I said, you know what? If I make it through, I am going to help women that truly want to empower themselves, that want to make an impact in the world. Like, that is my mission. In that moment, I knew that was my mission and purpose. I had tears of inspiration, and I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. And it was just like, a couple months later, my entire life changed. This working with this coach, I couldn't even afford this coach. It was more money than I've ever made in an entire year. And I said, God, creator of universe, I said, just, I need to find a way. And so I was like spreading out my credit cards, and I could put a payment on like one of the credit cards. I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. I don't care. Some people might say, well, that's financially irresponsible, but I'm here to tell you, if you see yourself as a leader and you take a calculated risk, there's no amount to what you can do in this world. And that's why you cannot listen to those voices, those outside voices that will put you down. And so, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And so what happened is that I was going to make the payment, and then I got a letter like a week later saying, oh, we're going to lower your limit, meaning that payment wasn't going to go through. I'm freaking out. And I want everyone to think about it. What would you do? Would you say you couldn't do it? That's what most people do. Yeah. They get into a place where they see a challenge, from the outer world, and they stop. And I thought, you know what? My inner world tells me somehow, some way, this was the mindset shift. I want everyone to get this. Somehow, some way, things are going to change. I didn't know how. Your job is not to figure it out. I was so focused in my determination that I ended up getting these clients, these amazing clients, just, I felt that were a magnet, that were coming to me. And I was not worried about money. And so a couple months, I made my first $100,000 in my business. And then fast forward, I was able to generate $100,000 in 45 days. And so I share that story, and I actually had a fitness business before that, but that actually is one of the most important stories, because my business evolution has changed because my mindset has changed. My mission has changed, and you need a big mission in order to make your bank account grow. I really want to share that. Take just maybe a minute or so to share that. Your vision has to be larger than your bills, has to be larger than your family, has to be larger than your city, than your state, has to be larger than your country. It has to be a global vision to where you can leave an immortal legacy. You might not know what that is, but if you get on that path of greatness, you'll start seeing all the people, all the resources just push you in the path. And honestly, a lot of the times it comes in a form of a challenge. And that's the sucky part of it. But that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn and grow from that. And so I hope that is helpful for our viewers and our listeners, because there's so many people that give up. Statistically, I think with having a business, I think within 5 years, 97 or 98% fail. And honestly, it's not about the business plan. It's about you and your drive and your determination and your inspiration and your big vision. And there will be bumps along the road. You can't have a fantasy about it. You've got to embrace both the pain and pleasure of the pursuit of doing what you love. And I'm telling you, if you do that, you will be on fire. You will change so many lives, no matter what you do. And you might think, well, what can I do? I'm not worthy. You could take whatever your wealth potential is. Maybe you've got a beauty potential, and you could show people how to be beautiful. So never discount your greatness. Everyone has it inside of them.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, guys, if you're listening, I really hope that you really, truly grasp what she said. It's everyone, each of you have something on the inside of you, and it's just waiting. It's just waiting to be manifested. And so today, own who you are. And I like to say this a lot, Heather. So many people are sitting and waiting on a breakthrough, and they're sitting on it. They're sitting on their breakthrough, guys. So it's time. You have the information in front of you. You have the experts such as Heather that has been coming and truly pouring into you guys, giving you the hope. And not only that, Heather, I appreciate that you was truly willing to be transparent, because I want the listeners and the viewers to understand it's work involved. It's a process involved, but it's possible. Now, you could have easily said, we went through that personal situation. You could say, I give up and have a tantrum like most of us women do. But as empowered queen, guys, we don't give up. We don't stop. We find a way. We invest. We not just only financially, which you definitely do that, because I often think about, you want to return on the level of your investment. Now, whether that's financial or whether that's time or that's sacrifice, but what you're willing to put in is what you should be expecting to receive. And it's like Heather just said earlier, I want a global legacy. I want a legacy that's bigger than I am. So what are you willing to do to receive that legacy? And Heather shared some amazing, amazing tips here with you guys to do just that. Heather, I want you to give an opportunity to let them know how could they work with you or talk with you or have a conversation with you.
Yeah. So I do have a free gift, and it's my 5 secrets to manifesting and attracting your perfectly high-paying client. And it is such a powerful training. So that is a good place to start. And if you get the training, there's an opportunity to connect with me, where we can have a really deep conversation to kind of find out where you're at, where you want to go, what is your dream, what is your vision. And it's very powerful, because I'm going to share with you some strategies that are really going to help you to take your business to the next level. And it's only for people that see themselves as a leader, that really want to go to the next level of their business evolution and want to do something amazing in the world. And of course, they want to live La Dolce Vita. They want to find the formula for fabulous living.
Yes. Yes. I love it. So guys, definitely take advantage of that free gift. Also, Marcia have those requests, right? In the comment section, please conversate with us. Let Heather know what she did to support you. Let Heather know what she can continue to do. Let the Empowered Queen Show know how we can serve you and get the guests on that to support your vision, your destiny, your journey, guys. So I really want you to communicate with us so that we can continue to bring you the information that you are desiring, because we want you to live your dream life. And we want you to know how possible it is. It's so possible, and you're so close to it. Again, get off the seat of do nothing and do something. Embrace who you are. You guys know that I wear this tiara as a reminder, not only to myself, but as to you guys to know that you are an empowered queen. What you need is on the inside of you. And so you guys know how to reach me, info@myprofitsolution.com. You know how to, to comment in the section below if you need to reach out to me or my team. Also, guys, we'll be back here again with another expert that will be sharing information to help you to continue to grow and to build your business, to enhance your life, and just a better you. And Heather, again, I thank you so much for being willing to be a guest with us today. And guys, I personally brought to you my coach, the person that has transformed and changed my life. So I know the things that she teach you, I know they work because you're looking at a witness of it. A person that was willing to take a leap of faith and invest in myself. And I say that to you guys, and nothing that I would ever teach you, you can understand and you can know that I have personally did it for myself. And I know the power of investing in a coach, someone that has paved the way, someone that's willing to be transparent with you and to share that information with you guys. And along as such as Heather, this is what I do with my clients. I help individuals that has an idea, that has a gift or a talent, and they don't quite understand how to monetize it. That's what we do, guys. It's not good enough just to have this gift and have access to this gold and not know how to get it right. So that's what I do for guys. So Heather, thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you. You shared such valuable information, and thank you so much for that.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Marcia.
One last thing, Heather, how can they find you on social media?
Yes, if they go to Heather Picken, just on my personal profile, or Heather Picken Global on my business page.
Awesome, guys. So definitely look her up. All right, Heather, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.